All right, we are here on Radio Row, joined by our friend Nate Tice of Yahoo. Jalen Hurts is number one fan.
So what do you have to put we're talking
Jalen Hurts on the episode today. Okay. And let's start with this. If you could, you're Sean Mannion. You want to add one thing to Jalen Hurts' game this offseason heading into next year, what would it be?
It's just more comfort. Again, this is such a talking point, so I don't want to devolve the conversation.
We are nuanced here.
Yes,
no one's clipping this.
I'll say over the middle, between the numbers, but I think that makes sense more in just like in the drop back game. It doesn't have to be play action. It doesn't have to be under center. Hurts is going to be a guy that's more comfortable from the gun. He's just one of these guys that's going to have to play that way. But there's a way to blend the offense outside of just using play action, which is the staple answer, of throwing. I mean, we've seen Hurts throw a couple balls over the middle. I remember specifically AJ Brown touchdown against the Vikings. Where he had an inbreaker there. He had another AJ Brown throw. I want to.
Chargers is the one.
Yes, I was thinking LA.
I thought that was Devontae. That one like third and long
over the middle of Devontae. Yes, and it's there. It's there. You have to eke it out. It's not going to be the strength of his game. It's not. I always liken a throwing over the middle like being a three-point shooter in basketball. If you don't do it, it's going to make everything else tighter. You have to drive to the rack. It's going to make it condensed in the paint. Same for a quarterback. You have to always throw outside. You have to win those one-on-ones. If you have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, it helps, but sometimes that can lack consistency, which we see. The Eagles' offense lives and dies by explosives.
Yep.
Explosives, how they get them are go balls. They need guys. A.J. Brown and Devontae are both good yak guys. A.J. Brown, when he was with the Titans, that's all he was winning was these in-breakers. So it doesn't have to be every down, throw it there. It's just eke out those 2 to 3 because it would just open up so much more. And I know this is a big talking point, but Sean Mannion and what his offenses have been, even when he was a player in college at Oregon State, that's what this attacks. It's in-breakers. So it doesn't have to be a machine at it. He doesn't have to be Stafford. But he just has to do it enough to kind of just make it open up for everything.
One thing we've heard a lot about Sean Mannion influence, like the offenses that he's been a part of, is the footwork and how important that is for quarterbacks. What do you see from Jalen in that regard? And I guess how much of a projection is that going to be for him?
That's exactly what needs to tighten down because throwing in the middle is just one way to kind of, it's just one little thing, but it's all the process before that. That's what opens it up. Why throwing in the middle is more important is that usually shows anticipation. That shows that your timing is good because it's so tight. If you're wrong, guys are getting sawed off. Remember week 2, when the Eagles played the Cowboys and Jake Ferguson caught the touchdown and got lit the F up.
Yeah.
That is throwing over the middle though in the NFL, but guess what? Touchdown. Or a big play, or a PI, or something of that sort. They lead to those explosives. So it's just with the footwork stuff, Jalen kind of has his own timing. Everybody can have their own timing. It doesn't have to look like Jared Goff. It doesn't even have to look like Dak, who has really good footwork and stuff. He has to make the timing his own. Russell Wilson is the guy that made the timing his own. He would bounce instead of kind of do a traditional drop back. And when you make the timing your own, then you can anticipate, throw something over the middle into space as opposed to, I see the guy open, now I throw. That's when people say NFL windows, that's what they're talking about. You have to throw before they break. And so just eking out that comfort level with him, the footwork gets tied to that because tighten that up, then the ball comes out earlier, and then more good things happen.
There is also a part of it where throwing over the middle is a little bit riskier.
Yes.
And it feels like it has been beaten into him so much to avoid turnovers. There has to be a conversation of interceptions are not the worst thing in the world because it's going to open up these other things that you can do. And if the defense respects that you're willing to throw it over the middle of the field, guess what? All of a sudden those balls on the outside are open as well, right?
If you see every home run hitter that has 40 home runs, 50 home runs, how many strikeouts do they have? A lot. Dozens and dozens. Because you're not going to be able to jack one over the fences unless you're waiting on the pitch, and sometimes you miss. And sometimes that happens. And I think, just look at the Seahawks. Seahawks have a high turnover rate. All these teams in the playoffs have high turnover rates. They have defense that help mitigate that, and so it doesn't make it as catastrophic. So you need more of a complete teamness to do that, which I think the Eagles are set up pretty well to have next year, at the very least next year, I'll say. But I do think that you have to have a willingness. No risk it, no biscuit. No, whatever you want to say, however, that's the name of the game, is how you generate explosives. And the Eagles have had to do that, but the efficiency just dropped off a cliff, run game-wise more than anything. RPOs, QB run game as well. So then it became so reliant on these explosives, and it's not an efficient passing game. So it's just, you have to be willing to have the turnovers if you're trying to generate explosives. It's just it.
Where did the Eagles rank? Where did the Eagles offense rank in terms of teams you enjoyed most or least watching last year?
Offensively? Bottom 5. It's static. There's not a lot of creativity. You have Grant Calcaterra making key blocks, one of the worst blocking tight ends. The jumbo stuff was nice. It's not my favorite. It's a lot of staple concepts, but not with a lot of window dressing. So there's stuff that's sound to me, but there's just not that kind of tweak. That's what the NFL is. Everyone has the same plays. It's just how you tweak them, how you reinvent them. Everyone has the same menu you're working off of, or same ingredients, I should say. And it's just how you put them together. So, like, it's never really been my fun, especially now that the run game fell off. Because that was, even if the passing game wasn't there, like Chef Stoutland was putting together great stuff. The O-line was burying people. Like, that was something that I liked with it, but it was not my favorite offense. The defense, though, awesome. Defense great.
Five, right?
Yes, exactly. So sound, and so all the staple concepts done to perfection. So that's what's awesome.
So if we flip it, what does Jalen do better than most quarterbacks?
Beautiful deep balls. Like his go balls, like he's a true excellent deep ball thrower. Truly excellent on outbreakers. I mean, how many Dallas Goddard outbreakers that we have seen the last couple of years? Those throws, because it's thrown to space, throwing where he doesn't. You see guys, like, even watch a high school quarterback, they're comfortable throwing outside because it's just that's the routes they have the most time on task with. So those, when he wants to run and he's like running with a purpose, he's still a plus runner. It's just that he's kind of eked that out of his game, which is like, that's where a lot of your value lies. I know the QB sneak stuff, the tush-push stuff is just like ad nauseum. How many breakdowns do we need about it? But it's like his scrambling, he's still a good scrambler. He's still good on design runs. It's just that now he's kind of like, there's a little hesitancy there. But when I think last year's Super Bowl, he had a scramble, I want to say in the second half, right up the middle on a third down. Chiefs brought a blitz, or a mirror, and he just scrambled right up the middle. And I was like, he did it decisively. And there's a classic coaching adage that said, if you make a mistake, make it fast. Yeah. That's what he needs to do again. Like, we're talking about the turnover, willing to do it, but also scrambling. Screw it, I'm one and done quarterback. All right, I'm done. Run, because that's the value that he brings.
Yeah. Let me just give Nate his flowers for a second here. I feel like there's this Jalen Hurts roller coaster, and I feel like you have been here the whole time.
Trying.
You don't ride the roller coaster like other people. You know, it's become maybe a contentious conversation, but I feel like you have been kind of like the level for a lot of this.
I'm trying. It's not like, and people want you to say, oh, he's the worst thing ever, he's the best thing ever. And I think it freaks people out when it's like talking about someone in the middle. And what I consider him as a tier 3 guy, which is a guy that maybe has one or two flaws, has strengths, but needs help. Like, obviously needs help, needs a run game, needs a defense, yada, yada. You can win with that. They just freaking did. You know, so that's why it's even of a guy that's always just been kind of like lukewarm on Hurts. It's like, now I'm going back. It's like, he has his qualities too, guys. Like, it's kind of funny. Like, you got but he's a guy that needs stuff shaped for him. I think the highest compliment I can have for any player is they're scheme proof. You run anything with them, they do it well. Hurts needs specific schemes tailored for him. So, but I do think it's a guy that's like, you can win with this if they just do it right. It's just going to take a lot of trust. And I think rebuilding trust, it seems like, from an outsider's perspective. Because
do you have any Sean Mannion insight from just through the grapevine?
I just know probably what being a Rams backup guy with the McVay ties, his college experience, he was with Mike Riley, who ran the same offense I ran at Wisconsin.
Okay.
So it's very traditional. It's stuff I like. There's Kellen Moore ties to that, so it's going to be more Kellen Moore-ish. As far as the run game, they do more under center. They prefer to, but it's not tied to it. So it's a very I shied away using the word traditional, but it's not like a true Shanahan or a Kubiak or something like that. There's a lot more Air Coryell concepts, a lot more Norv Turner, which is kind of Steichen. That kind of worked out pretty well, because that's what Mike Riley and Paul Chris were. They're Norv Turner guys, kind of like what they use. So downfield, they use play action, but a lot more deeper dropbacks, which I think can work for Hurts because it's not going to be timing based. You kind of give him some room for error. So I think that may be the best way to put it. It's just a lot more downfield play passes.
That might have been the most encouraging description of like what Sean Mannion's bringing to Philadelphia, because we've talked a lot about like the McVay-Shanahan influence, and that's a big projection.
Yeah.
So it sounds like there actually are elements that Jalen will be more familiar with.
Yeah, I think you're trying to. Everybody wants, what does everyone say? Oh, we want a Shanahan guy because we want under center play action, we want motion, and it's like, some guys aren't good with that. Joe Burrow doesn't do motion or under center play action. They're like, he doesn't. And every Bengals fan is like mad at Zach Taylor about it. I'm like, your quarterback doesn't like it. Like, that's why you don't do it. Same with Jalen. Like, Jalen, under center play action, he doesn't like turning his back. It's hard to do that. Like, it's hard to turn your back and look up and find stuff. Because when he does do it, knows where he throws it. It's outside. Because I don't have to worry about what's going on over here. I would throw it outside. So don't do it. Like, I think his game, passing-wise, would actually match what Baker Mayfield does well. Want more gun, want more stuff that's downfield. Let him work one side, high-low that side, and figure out from there. And that's in Mannion's kind of – he doesn't have a lot of experience. So I'm not going to say, Mannion's going to blow us all away. but he has good kind of a resume that's encouraging as far as like who he's been learning from and kind of where the NFL kind of meta is right now. It's kind of like that's who I want to pluck from is Packers, Rams, Mike Riley, and Paul Chris, which is more of a personal bias. But that stuff is where the league is right now. It's downhill run game and downfield passing game.
All right. The great Nate Tice. Any complaints, send to Ben Solak on social media.
Or
Otherwise,
Kapadia. One of those two. Yeah, one of those two.
Compliments, send to Nate. Thank you so much.